If you only know the headlines, this is the missing context. What does it actually take to lead the most influential company on the planet? Today we're going beyond the headlines to look at the strategic moves, the boardroom battles, and the personal philosophy of Sam Altman. You'll see how he navigates extreme risk and what his rise means for the future of your career and technology. Alright, let's start with the early years. This is the part that helps you understand how a young programmer from St. Louis developed the mindset to lead Silicon Valley's most ambitious projects. Sam Altman's journey began with a Mac LCII at age 8, which he credits with helping him understand the connection between hardware and software. This early exposure during the 1990s tech boom allowed him to see technology not just as a tool, but as a medium for creation. By the time he reached Stanford, he was already thinking about how to scale digital solutions for real-world social problems. In 2005, Altman dropped out of Stanford to co-found Looped, a location-sharing app that was part of Y Combinator's first-ever batch. While the company eventually sold for $43 million, Altman often reflects on it as a lesson in market timing and the difficulty of consumer social apps. He learned that having a great technical product is secondary to finding a sustainable business model that users actually need daily. During his early years, Altman mastered the art of Silicon Valley networking, which is more about mutual value than just collecting business cards. He built deep relationships with mentors like Paul Graham, who saw in him a rare ability to think in decades rather than months. This network would later become the bedrock for his ability to raise billions of dollars for capital-intensive projects. Next, we look at Sam's transition from founder to kingmaker. His tenure at Y Combinator changed how startups are funded and how we define success in tech. When Altman took over as president of Y Combinator in 2014, he aimed to fund 1,000 startups a year instead of just a few dozen. This shift was about more than just volume. It was about creating an ecosystem where hard techs like energy and biotech could thrive alongside software. He taught founders that the most expensive mistake is building something nobody wants, regardless of how innovative the technology is. Altman is famous for his belief in exponential growth, which suggests that small, consistent gains lead to massive outcomes over time. In his blog and speeches, he encourages people to focus on compounding their own skills and wealth, just as a startup would. He warns that people often underestimate how quickly a small advantage can turn into a dominant market position. At YC, Altman developed a framework for identifying talent that prioritized obsessive founders over those with the best resumes. He looked for people who were resilient and could explain complex ideas simply, which is a key indicator of leadership potential. This approach allowed him to spot winners like Airbnb and Stripe long before they became household names. This is where the story shifts toward the future of humanity. Let's break down how Sam Altman helped launch the AI era and the difficult choices he made along the way. OpenAI was founded in 2015 as a non-profit research lab with a mission to ensure AI benefits all of humanity. Altman, along with Elon Musk and others, feared that if a private corporation reached AGI first, the technology would be hoarded for profit. This early stage was defined by open-source research and a focus on safety over commercialization. As the cost of computing power skyrocketed, Altman realized that a pure non-profit couldn't raise the billions needed to train massive models like GPT-4. He created a capped profit structure, which allowed for private investment while theoretically limiting the returns to investors. This move was controversial, but proved essential for securing the massive cloud computing resources required from Microsoft. The release of ChatGPT in late 2022 was a calculated risk that changed the public's relationship with AI overnight. Altman chose to release the tool as a research previews to gather user feedback and stress. Test the system's safety filters. This strategy of iterative deployments allowed OpenAI to lead the market while others were still hesitant to release their own models. In late 2023, the world watched as Sam Altman was fired and then rehired within 5 days. This section explains the governance issues and the power of team loyalty. In a shock move, the OpenAI board of directors fired Altman, citing a lack of candid communication. This revealed a deep tension between the company's safety-focused nonprofit board and its commercially driven leadership. It serves as a major lesson in corporate governance. Even the most successful CEOs are subject to the structures they help create. What followed was unprecedented. Nearly all of OpenAI's 700-plus employees signed a letter threatening to quit unless Altman was reinstated. This demonstrated that in the modern tech era, the value of a company resides in its talent rather than its patents or brand. Altman's return was secured not by lawyers, but by the overwhelming loyalty of his staff. Following his return, the board was restructured to include experienced figures like Larry Summers and Brett Taylor. Altman's position became more secure, but the event raised permanent questions about how AI companies should be governed. For any professional, this highlights the importance of aligning your stakeholders before a crisis hits. Finally, let's look at what Sam Altman is doing now and the practical takeaways you can use for your own career strategy. Altman's interests extend far beyond software. He is a major investor in nuclear fusion through Helion and global identity through WorldCoin. He believes that if AI makes labor cheap, the two next big challenges will be abundant energy and a way to distribute wealth fairly. He advocates for universal basic income, UBI, as a necessary safety net for a post-AI world. Altman is known for a highly disciplined approach to time, often stating that the most successful people are those who get the most done in the shortest time. He emphasizes the importance of saying no to low-impact tasks and focusing on 1 or 2 major goals per year. For anyone feeling overwhelmed, his advice is to simplify your schedule until only the essential remains. The biggest takeaway from Altman's rise is that disruption is inevitable, but it can be navigated through preparation and adaptability. He suggests that instead of fighting new technology, professionals should aim to become the best at using the new tools. Understanding the costs of delay is often more important than the cost of the technology itself. That's the story of Sam Altman, a blend of high-stakes risk, massive scale, and a constant focus on the future. The big idea is to understand that technology shifts quickly, and those who study the leaders of these shifts are better prepared for the changes ahead. Focus on building your network, staying adaptable, and thinking about the long-term impact of your work. If this biography breakdown helped you understand the landscape of modern tech leadership, like and subscribe for more deep dives into the people and decisions shaping our world. Thanks for watching. Share this with someone who enjoys the real story behind famous people.